Before the video begins, I want to give a big thank you to Bays & Bricks for supplying me with my own personal discount code. Head over to baysandbricks.com right now and use my code BASICS on the screen to get 7% off your next 2 orders. Once again, thank you to Bays & Bricks for providing me with my own coupon code, and thank you guys for watching. Let's get back to the video. Hey guys, it's Chris. Today I decided to do something different. While I'm known for doing Beyblade reviews and everything like that, I decided that I would also try and do something else to try and lighten up the mood of the channel. Today I have before you is Studio Series Transformers Bumblebee movie Voyager class Shockwave. Shockwave here released as a core class figure roughly a couple years ago, and that figure was pretty decent. I didn't pick it up though, as I felt that eventually Hasbro would do something bigger and better. Behold, Hasbro did. Voyager class Bumblebee Shockwave released maybe a couple months ago. However, stores around me just now got theirs in, so I might be late to the party when reviewing this figure. But here we are, and here's the figure. The figure itself is a nice lavender purple color scheme, has great paint, great sculpting, and honestly has a very clean back. For a lot of people, when seeing the Bumblebee movie, they noticed that Shockwave wouldn't transform. However, Hasbro designers decided to do something different. They decided that the best thing, especially for Studio Series, is to focus on what we saw in the film and not really care about the vehicle mode. We'll get into that later. But the robot mode here is as screen accurate as possible, and truly I love that. Bumblebee's Shockwave is absolutely incredible because it takes the lovely style of the Bayverse films and it combines it with the G1 basic structure that we all know and love, giving us this great example of what a figure could be that is menacing, yet all so perfect at the same time. It truly shows off the great values of Travis Knight's design and what the team truly did to make the film pop out to audiences as much as it possibly could. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the review. Painting and sculpting on this figure, as I've already mentioned, is absolutely phenomenal. Everywhere I look, I still find something new and gorgeous to talk about and explain. For instance, these panels back here, those are technically accurate to the CGI material, so it's great that they added those in. I love the little points back here, I guess you can call them. They reminisce a lot of Transformers Prime, which was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. And truly, just everywhere you look, this figure has something popping out. Whether it's the deep lavender purple or the translucent purple on the chest, the hollow eye, which, if I can get a light in here to show, is very much a light piping gimmick. I don't know if you guys can see that right there, but it does have a light piping gimmick. Truly, it's just how the light hits the eye, but it is a very nice feature, nonetheless. Gotta get a new camera stick here. But truly, this figure has some great values to it as well. I mean, the painting, the sculpting, all of it, it looks nice. I'm repeating myself here because I don't know what else to say. This figure is just gorgeous in every direction. You have the copper linings around the arms and the shoulders. These 2 points here, very accurate. You have the gunmetal grays on the leg, as well as the dirtier grays on the knees. Yeah, these are knees, so that's what they're called. On the knees of the figure. You have the nice weathering, too, on the sidearms here, also in gunmetal gray. Truly, there is no lackluster paint on this figure whatsoever, and sometimes there's not even paint. These shoulder pieces are sculpted in. This big chest, sculpted in. These legs, sculpted in. The only painted parts you actually see on the figure are the copper, a little bit of the gunmetal on the blaster, and of course the gunmetal on any smaller areas like the crotch section, chest section, the legs. The purple on the back here is painted, so I'd be careful with that, but it's very, very durable. That's something I'm glad that Hasbro is finally getting ahead of themselves, that it's durable. And I don't see this figure yellowing either anytime soon. There is truly nothing to yellow on this figure. Besides the paint, this figure also has some pretty good articulation. One flaw many people have seen has been the waist swivel. There isn't really like a subsection to that. But honestly, I think for what you get, it's good. The only real problem I have with the figure, when I will get to with the transformation, is the arm blaster. It doesn't like to peg in all that much, and it kind of just bops around. If it wasn't for the wire holding it up, it would kind of just do whatever it wants. You can articulate it thanks to the articulated hands, which, speaking of articulated hands, let's go over the articulation of the figure. It's pretty basic for Voyager class, but it does have some great values. You get a ball-jointed head. Every ball joint can be a swivel. Arms can go out. They can go up that far. Let me do this arm since it doesn't have a wire connected to it. Full 360 out that far, which kind of sucks. You can't really get it going inward any further than that. No butterfly joint. It cannot detach either. The hands themselves, shoulders can do that. Arms are on a dumbbell swivel, so they can do that. They can also go up and can't go back that far, but that's more for the transformation. We'll talk about that later. The hands can swivel fully. It's great. Of course, waist articulation includes the swivel at the waist, not race. No ab crunch, no leaning back, although this does pop off for transformations. This guy loves just transforming. There is the knee articulation, which includes a beautiful spread. Legs can go up that far, can go back that far. They are on a swivel here, as well as a double swivel here, which is very interesting. There's nothing really interesting going on here. It's just fully on a ratcheted section, whose ratchets are very small, very silent too. Knees, of course, can swivel, bend that far, no forward bend. Feet do have a hinge joint. They cannot swivel, but they can pivot only slightly side to side, which sucks. That's the main articulation of Shockwave, and if my camera does not like to fall here, it's basic. It's pretty decent for what you get in terms of a Voyager class figure. Definitely not the greatest thing ever, no. There are definitely greater figures out there, third-party figures, everything like that. What is it, DXL, I think? Or some other third-party company has made a larger version of this figure that turns into a laser blaster with better articulation. Though I feel for its price point and its size, the Voyager class works. Plus, every Voyager class at Target right now is, I think, 15 to 20% off. So I actually got this guy for 20 bucks instead of the original 30 bucks. So that's a pretty good steal. But let's go ahead and move on to, I don't have any actual size comparisons. I would do the size comparisons here, but all my figures are locked up in storage right now. So let's just get into the transformation. What I personally like to do is just remove the wire and the gun. You can still transform them with it on, but makes it a whole lot easier. For the gun, just kind of extend that out. That way it looks more like a turret. Throw that off to the side along with the wire. And let's start this transformation. So first things first, you want to come to the hands and you want to flip open these fake treads. And you want to fold the hand up like that. Push inside and do the same thing on the other side. Sometimes they're a bit fiddly. That way he has no hands. Now, what you want to do is you want to flip them over, come to the back. Two pegs right here will plug into these two sections on the arm. Little holes right there. So you want to move the arms back, plug those guys in, both sides. You want to rotate the arms just a little bit. And then you want to flip them up until they lock into a specific tab on the top right here. So flip those guys up. Same thing with the other arm. Turn, flip. Now he does not have any arms. You want to come to the chest and you want to push this down and extend it all the way. Now, here's the fun part and why I absolutely hate this figure. You know what? We'll talk about it once we get to that step. Let's just keep this going. Next, you want to pull the whole chest cavity part. Do it a specific way. Push it up, not pull. Push it up. The head will go inside of this hollow chest cavity. And now for the legs. Legs are pretty simple. When you come to the back of the legs, pull out these treads, flip them, and push them back in. And that will give you clearance, just like that, to fold these up. Just great. Now, you want to... Okay, how does this exactly... I'm trying to remember the steps here as I'm going. Okay, so Next you want to do is you want to have this piece collapse into the chest. Now you would take this part and you would put it underneath the legs, just like that. The problem here comes with the top of the figure. These pegs are put on backwards because these holes in the leg, get better lighting here, these holes are supposed to align with these pegs. The whole conversion is molded backwards, meaning you can't, at least my copy, cannot fold down all the way, which sucks. So what I found is a better solution, and if you have the same molding problem, is to just spread the legs fully, unfold this chest cavity part, fold it over the figure, and then collapse it into underneath here, and that'll keep it on for a good bit. Now, there are still ways that you can peg this in. There are these two circular pegs on both sides. You want to push that into... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that there is one more step. These parts of the legs do come out, and it allows it to become like a squarish. That allows you to plug in the legs to that circular peg. It can be a bit difficult, especially if you don't have the pegs inside of the proper joints. Thanks, Hasbro. And that's it. That's the whole tank mode. It's kind of weird. It's a very odd tank mode. Not really a tank, as you know, Hasbro had nothing really to go off of. But this is it. This is the tank mode, and you can attach the turret onto this little top part here that can move. So you attach the turret, same way you attach it to the hand. The peg goes into there, and then you take the rubber wire, attach it to the hole, and then you attach it onto either one of these pegs on the arms, or if you can reach all the way back, you can attach it to the hole on the back here. I personally just attach it to the arms since it's closer. Oh, it doesn't really fit in the arms. Okay, yeah, it doesn't fit in the arms. You just want to kind of get it looped around and attach it into the backboard there. And that's the tank mode. And it's a pretty simple tank mode. Nothing truly extravaganza to talk about. It's not accurate to G1, of course, because of the fact that, well, you can't really have a laser weapon that mass shifts at any given moment. But it does exactly what it needs to do for being a Transformer toy. This does actually coincide with a lot of the concept art for the Hasbro designers on what they wanted to turn Shockwave into. And it works better than most Cybertronian alt modes. Works better than Soundwaves, I will say that for definitely. But in terms of Cybertronian alt modes, especially with the Bumblebee movie, Autobots hands down take it. Possibility on this is just the turret, if it likes to stay on the peg. Come on, go in. There you go. Turns left and right. Of course, it pops off. So that's really the bad part. This part kind of moves, not really though. That can move up and down somewhat. Arms don't really have any movement. Legs don't have any movement. It's a tank. It rolls okay-ish. I mean, it doesn't really use treads. It just uses these stupid little plastic wheels here and on the arm. But for what value you get for a Voyager, it works. And most of the time, you're not even going to pose this guy in its vehicle mode. I mean, come on. This thing is just not pleasing. You're going to post it in its robot mode. So at most, if not all, of the cost went into the robot mode. One more thing I want to point out before ending this review is that they did sneak in a little Easter egg. Because Shockwave reuses aspects from Optimus Prime CGI mold, there was a little bit of an error with the CGI mode where there was an Autobot logo on the arm. If you actually look at the right arm, there's a little Autobot insignia. How cool is that? Hasbro, you really know how to blow my mind with these plastic figures. But that'll be the end of the review, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you do want to pick this guy up, Target, again, is having a sale. 20% off all Voyagers. They are now $20 instead of $30. I truly would get it with the sale going on right now. It is definitely worth its value. Go check out your Targets, go check out your Walmarts, see if you can find this guy, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.